Hey, it's Dr. Rich McLean. Does anyone want to hear about the time I did acid with Kathy Freeman? No? Okay. Well, perhaps you'd like to know of the people that I'm actually going to murder. I say that facetiously and innocuously. But now that I've made a threat to murder and that the police have to listen to it, I'm going to explain which people I'm going to murder and why. That is because there has been a huge injustice and I'm sick of being framed and coming out on the losing end. Now, there is such a thing as the Charter of Human Rights for people with a disability, and that absolutely is not being adhered to. First of all, I have proven beyond reasonable doubt that I can't report crime to police, that I can't be a whistleblower, and further, that I can't get a lawyer. All of those people responsible for that are going to be murdered by me. Isn't that nice? So I'd just like to say first that as a public carrier, and this is published on the internet, the police will have to take this seriously. I'm sick of coming out on the losing side, and I have worked my whole life to help other people, and I've been heinously, systemically oppressed and victimised, and that's led to me killing myself in a hospital, and that is a direct result of being framed by my former partner, my public profile, and being scapegoated, and powerful lawyers and people in positions of privilege in order to protect money, power, wealth, and their reputations. But I'm just about to absolutely fucking destroy the joint. So depending on who's got the cash, and it's not going to matter because I'm going to kill you all, I'm either invisible, too mad, not mad enough, too clever, or too dumb. I've proven beyond doubt on this website that I can't report crime to police. I cannot be a whistleblower at IBAC, APRA, ASIC, or the Commonwealth Ombudsman. I cannot get a lawyer. That's rendered me an innocuous vagrant who is neutral, with no voice, no rights, and I'm a free man right now. However, in this democracy, I have no voice, I have no agency, I have no healthcare, I have a cancer on my nose and my face. It's not being seen to. I've been exploited, gaslighted, scapegoated, and doomed to die, and then actually died. And of course, you know, I kill myself for fun, as the Office of the Chief Psychiatrist said. And I'm going to kill the following people. First of all, I'm going to kill Mr. Ball of Ball and Partners, who used libel and slander to frame me as an extortionist to the following organisations. I'm going to kill the head at APRA, I'm going to kill the head at NHPOPC, and I'm going to kill anyone at the police and IBAC, the Victorian Inspectorate, and the Ombudsman. That is because his libel and slander helped aid and abet my death and caused my death due to an illegal incarceration in which I was innocent and I was framed as a madman, when in actual fact I was absolutely right. And the doctors at the hospital say I am not psychotic and not delusional, and I'm absolutely grossly aware. So and he used this libel and slander to protect a GP, Dr. Whitaker, who I've forgiven. I tried to protect, all that kind of stuff. And as it turns out, Dr. Whitaker doesn't even have an ABN and all registered for GST. That's weird, since I saw him for years and years, and it's very clear that I had an illness, that I had been sexually abused, that I suffered a toxic relationship, and that I was struggling financially, and that there was injustice, and that I was isolated, that I was doing a doctorate, and that I was mad. And further, the evidence on this website, which clearly describes the injustice and the malpractice and the negligence, led to my overdose, and that it wasn't malicious. In actual fact, I'm not an extortionist. In actual fact, it's just fucking bad luck. But at the same time, I gave back $100,000 to Mark Eng. I'm not going to kill him, because he saw my advocacy work of 20 years or so and my artwork, and he believed in my worth, that no one actually has. And so he gave me $100,000, and I give evidence on this website that I gave that $100,000 back when he said it was a mistake. So yeah, Dr. Whitaker is not even registered with APRA, and that's pretty fucked. So I'm going to kill him too. That thing is valid in a court of law. Now, I'm going to kill everyone who covered up that evidence, including Greg Hunt, including CEO of Sane Australia, Jack Heath, where my book was Sane's Book of the Year, and I was a Sane speaker, and all those organisations that I mentioned. And further, I'm going to kill all the police that have rejected for me to report crime, and they had framed me as a mad person and gaslighted me in order to aid and abet my death and extend my suffering. So I'm going to kill all of the police, everyone at IBAC, Sue Kalopoulos, or whatever your name is, and I can't report rape, conspiracy to manslaughter, tax evasion, fraud, embezzlement, coercive control in sexual and financial ways by my former partner Stefan Isonides, who was a former ASIO agent, and he still owes me an equal and equitable and legal settlement. I've got a letter from his lawyer denying all of that. However, I'm going to kill him too, because he was actually present at the murder of someone else. So so I haven't got really evidence of that apart from that he told me. But I did call that whistle on my website and threatened that I needed help to get some money. But that's because I'd been framed out of my job. Gee, isn't that interesting, being framed and being a scapegoat? It's not a very favourable place to be in. So I'm going to kill him because then he texted me and said, you haven't got evidence of that. Anyway, give me evidence by Monday or I'm going to bloody frame you at your NDIS and everything else. So he threatened me. I don't have evidence of the death he was at. I know details of it, but I actually have just that evidence of him reacting to me innocuously. It was obviously him. And then I was incarcerated, and further, I lost my job at as a allied health professional after I did a PhD, and
Jeff Mabel
fuck him. I'm gonna kill Jeff too. Jeff from Jeff, my advocate. And I'm going to kill Steve because he's obviously given me evidence for the police that he was guilty of being at the murder. And I can't report theft of car, death threats at my house, and I can't report harassment of vile systemic victimisation, which goes from the local coffee guy right up to the Prime Minister's Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet. I'm going to kill Ed, the coffee guy, and I'm going to kill everyone in the government, and I'm going to it's been a heinous vilification of mine, and it's an absolute inequality and inequity between the law. Now there is a motive behind all this. It's to silence me because I know too much. So yeah, Stefan Isonides is my former partner I was engaged to for over 5 years. I'm going to kill him too. He exploited me sexually and financially, and I had some savings and I exploited my nest egg. He exploited my nest egg, spending it on him and keeping up with him while he earned like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year feathering his own super nest, which he always really bragged that he'd retire well. And yet he dumped me with his dying dog Chopper, and he knew Chopper Reed because of his drug days, because he actually made money selling cocaine to buy a house, and then he sold it when he was with me in 2010. However, he invested it in an offshore tax haven, and he was caught by ASIC. Good on you, David Irvine. I'm going to kill David Irvine too. Actually, he died soon. I won't have to kill him. And he got a slap on the wrist, and I had to scramble my way back up. However, I'd been absolutely and utterly, categorically clusterfucked, character assassinated already years before. So I worked my way back up after Steve threatened a hitman on me and, coercively threatened me with death. But now he's kind of attacking me by proxy because he doesn't want people to know he was a prisoner of death, and he doesn't want to give up his money. And this isn't about money for me. This is about freedom from exploitation, and it's about freedom from persecution. So I did my PhD and I ran my own business for 2 years very successfully. I was employed by the government. Really, I was paid by the government. I get paid by the government. I log in through Proda. I got advance payments for COVID stuff. I've got a Department of Social Security number. And basically, WorkSafe, I'm going to kill everyone at WorkSafe, they denied my case. That's a bit fucked because, anyway, they set me up to fail, sent me to Comcare. I'm going to kill everyone at Comcare. And they set me up with Paul Fowler. He's a lawyer and a cunt. And I'm going to kill him too. And he rejected me on a little bit of the legislation, arguing if I was a worker or not. I'm going to kill Holly Wheelers from the NDIA Commission, and I'm going to kill the leaders of the NDIA, and for letting that go. And that was my workers' compensation. Like, serious, I deserve workers' compensation. It's an equal and equitable, just thing to have. And if I wasn't employed by the government, then who was I employed by? Like, it's got to be one or the other. So now it's at the AAT, and there's the Charter of Human Rights of people with a disability. That, of course, hasn't been observed. Like, I can't report to the police or get a lawyer or be a whistleblower because I'm clusterfucked framed. So I'm going to kill all of those people behind that, and I'm going to kill member Fennell from the AAT, who moves it forward without any thought to my disability or disabilities, which I have acquired through actually killing myself, because I did that for fun, at the Werribee Hospital, and I'm going to kill everyone at Werribee Hospital as well for covering it up. And I'm going to kill, what's her name? Kate Watson, who's a lawyer for the government, and I'm going to kill everyone in the government because they actually conspired via proxy of attacking me in the money to render me a vagrant, got me distressed, and then hospitalised me as an oppressive force. And I knew that everyone, including my parents, my sister, my brother, and all my friends, had rejected me already, had exploited me, had unconsciously or consciously pinned their sins on me as a kind of a toxic family scapegoating thing. And they acted with fear of the law and, like sheep really, to incarcerate me. They had no interest in seeing me get justice with Steve, and I made an innocuous threat to kill myself, and the next thing you know, I actually did kill myself because I was malpracticed by Dr. Kumar. Dr. Kumar I saw 13 years earlier, and he absolutely knew about Steve and the toxic relationship I was in, and that he worked for ASIC. Anyway, at the time, there's other people who stood between me and prosperity as a methodology to destroy me, and they include a magistrate at VOCAT, because yourlawyer.com.au took 3 years to bring my VOCAT case of sexual abuse before the VOCAT court, and she said that I was doomed to fail. Gee, that's weird language to use with a sexual abuse survivor. So I'm going to kill her too. So I lost that, and I'd already lost another VOCAT case where I went to the aid of a man who was being beaten up in 2017, and VOCAT and the police pinned it on me. That's despite there being video evidence, and I have struggled for a long time to just stick up for myself and get the freedom of information, but they redacted the video. Does anyone want to ring up Ben from the Dancing Dog, the old Dancing Dog, and ask where the video is? Anyway, at the time, I was looking after a very sick man with the NDIS, and he had sexual abuse problems and rape issues as a child. He was raped as a child, and incest and all that triggered my stuff because that was going on for 3 years, and he was abusive, and he was a very difficult client. A lot of people have conspired to oppress and deny me justice, and I realised as well at the same time as it being my job was being rendered illegitimate, because if no one was believing, or I was framed absolutely from police and everything by VOCAT cases, then the 2-year narrative that I collected on my client was also absolutely worthless. That combined with the triggering methodology of delaying, denying, deferring my sexual abuse case at your lawyer, which took 5 lawyers and 3 years to get before a magistrate which said it was doomed to fail. And with the combination of everything, I left work. It wasn't a new illness, as HCF says. In actual fact, I'm going to kill everyone at HCF because they still owe me $75,000. And also, I'm not going to kill Dr. McCurdy, because he will value and validate that I had to take a break from my uni work, not because I was sick, not because I was unwell, not because of any former diagnosis, but because I had a sore elbow. That all this is evidence on this website, killhim.info. So you can see that HCF have acted in congruency with the massive conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. And everyone in that conspiracy, I'm going to kill. So another GP, Dr. Moore, has really always said there's no conspiracy, but he knows damn well there is. And might kill him too, I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. And he acknowledges that I was unpacking childhood trauma of sexual abuse. I'm going to kill my parents for going to the sexual abuser's funeral just a few days after I'd actually killed myself and then survived. And I'm going to kill everyone at the hospital for covering it up. And I'm going to kill, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. The head of the doctor, Dave Stevenson. Yeah, I'm going to kill him too. Because I offered an atonement. I always offer the other party an atonement or a way to sort it out. But he said to sue him directly and personally. Now that's because he knows that I can't go to the police, I can't get a lawyer, and I can't be a whistleblower. And the Ombudsman, Ben Calder, I'm going to kill him too, he said that the apology was sufficient and covered it up. That's despite it, the movement to like oppress me that ended in my murder. And then so the government, having literally conspired via various methodologies to kill me and render me a vagrant, losing my job, making me guess my sanity, all that kind of stuff. And they basically killed me. Then the government covered it up. And I'm going to kill everyone at Centrelink for putting me on job seeker when obviously I just survived a suicide attempt that was cited in the Freedom of Information from Werribee Mercy as a fatal injury and a lethal attempt. So I was accidentally found with no observable pulse, and I was revived from certain death. So I'm going to kill Dave Stevenson for having the audacious nature of just saying, well, why don't you sue me personally and directly, as if he kind of victim blamed me for wanting to die after all this. So anyway, and I'm going to kill everyone who didn't support me in my recovery. and I'm going to kill everyone who didn't stand for my justice issues. And I'm going to kill Jason Pine. He was the guy who did the apology from the hospital. And when I first went to kill myself because I was misdiagnosed, and they absolutely knew that this delusion wasn't false, was that he apologised. I tried to use a broken toilet brush to slip my artery open, and they returned it in my clothes. And the apology said, it's not our policy to gift hospital property. That was nice. So I'm going to kill Jason Payne too. And I'm just going to really just go through this website quick and say who I'm going to kill. So perverting the course of justice. Yeah, all I need to actually prove a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice is it's contained in Section 319 of the Crimes Act, which states that a person who does any act or makes any omission intending in any way to pervert the course of justice is liable to imprisonment for 14 years. And what my prosecution must prove is to find that individual guilty of this offence. The prosecution must prove each of the following matters beyond reasonable doubt: that the accused did an act or made an omission, and that they did so with an intent to pervert the course of justice. And I just wish to say too that as public officials, and you all are aware of this thing, you're obliged to act within the Charter of Human Rights of people with a disability. That was ratified by the government in 2008 into the foundations of this country. And you can't identify, all of you have identified yourself as liable that you acted with the intent to pervert the course of justice. This is because of a setup. I'm a free man, although I'm kind of jailed, and I don't know what everyone's waiting for. Like, this systemic omission with intentional ignoring of the issues and denial of acting, it further proves what I've already proved here: a systemic government movement that was conscious, malicious, and demeaning, and scapegoated me. And it's a vile victimisation, and that is to pervert the course of justice and actually kill me.
Susie or Susie?
Susie's calling. But by making me broke. I will win if I'm alive or dead. So I just want to quote a little bit about the Charter of Human Rights. I just want to read some things from here. So, first of all, public authorities. For the purposes of this charter, a public authority is a public official within the meaning of the Public Administration Act. That includes employees of the public service, heads of government, department, or administrative office. So obviously there's a lot of people that I've caught out who are complicit in this conspiracy. Now, it says in this, hang on a sec, I'll just get this. Human rights. It's about human rights. It's about recognition and an equality before the law. Every person has the right to recognition as a person before the law. I don't. Every person has the right to enjoy his or her human rights without discrimination. I've been discriminated against. Every person is equal before the law and is entitled to the equal protection of the law without discrimination. Bullshit. And has the right to equal and effective protection against discrimination. Well, I can't even complain to the Human Rights Commission. They discriminate against me. So I have a right to life. Every person has the right to life and has the right not to be arbitrarily deprived of life. That happened. I was killed. The government covered it up. And 16 months later, I live in abject poverty. I earn about $700 a week on my DSP, and my rent is $350. So I don't even have enough to actually exist. Further, number 10 says a person with a disability has protection from torture and cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment. And clearly that's happened to me. A person must not be subject to torture. This is literally torture for me. Treated or punished in a cruel, inhuman, or degrading way. All of you have done that. or subjected to medical or scientific experimentation or treatment without my free and informed consent. I haven't consented to being force-fed medication, and I object to the mental health law, which locks me up in hospital no less than 3 times already, by people lesser qualified than me who I've never met, and the police back it up, and for all intents and purposes, they say I have delusions of persecution, and Saltwater Clinic and the mental health system is an arm of the hospital which won't cross the floor in order for me to have an atonement from the hospital that they abandon their duty of care, and that they are guilty of being the epic crown in the jewel that the place I died. It's as simple as that. You're not allowed to die in a hospital and then further be oppressed for it. It's ridiculous. So I've got freedom of movement. I've got the right to privacy and reputation. I've got the right not to have my privacy, family, home or correspondence unlawfully or arbitrarily interfered with. I'm going to kill James from Micron 21. He was the person who hosted my my website, and they destroyed my website in order to destroy my business because they're attached to the government. They act with impunity, which a lot of people do because I'm framed. And I went to business.gov.au, going to kill everyone there, and I went to the Small Business and Family Ombudsman to complain. They didn't care that my business was destroyed, or my website where I earned money and worked hard my whole life, and they covered it up. So I'm going to kill him. And the where else? The telecommunications industry ombudsman. Oh yeah, and the cops. All the cops. I'm going to kill the cops, and I'm going to kill Cybercrime Watch or whatever it's called, because they actually don't give a fuck that my whole business, my 30-year career, was all on that website, and it actually destroyed my digital identity, which was another way to attack me with impunity. Now I have the freedom of thought, conscience, religion, and belief. So I can do that anyway. My life is my art, and my art is my life. I have freedom of expression. I'm right to hold an opinion. I have the opinion that I innocuously am going to kill all those people. I have the right to freedom of expression, which includes the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of kinds outside or inside Victoria, orally, writing, in print, art, or in another medium. Oh, fabulous. I got the peaceful assembly of freedom of association. I can do what I want. Protection of families and children, taking part in public life. Well, this is my public life. In artography, the personal becomes public and the public becomes private. I have cultural rights, and I have property rights. A person must not be deprived of his or her property other than in accordance with the law. Isn't that funny that I've been denied property rights, or been intelligently robbed of millions and millions of dollars because there's a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, which I've already proven. I have the right to liberty and security of a person. Isn't that weird? I don't. A person must not be subjected to arbitrary arrest or detention. I have. I must not be deprived of my liberty except on grounds in accordance with established by law. A person is arrested or detained must be informed at the time of arrest or detention of the reason, and detention must be promptly informed about any proceedings brought against you. I must not be tried, blah, blah, blah. There's all this stuff. There's humane treatment when deprived of liberty. I was left to die. And I kill myself for fun, clearly. I mean, the office of the chief psychiatrist, she's absolutely right when she says, well, you can't kill yourself every time you don't get what you want. Because, I've never suffered, and I've never shown my compassion, or my passion for other people's rights, or my passion for advocating for other people more marginalised than me. And I absolutely haven't travelled this whole country and across the earth to be advocating for that right of different people and different sexualities and all that kind of stuff. So all persons deprived of liberty must be treated with humanity and respect for the inherent dignity of the person. Well, that didn't happen. So children in criminal process, fair hearing. I should have a fair hearing. Rights in criminal proceedings. I should have that. There's all these things that are not happening. I've got the right not to be tried or punished more than once. It seems like I'm being punished. I don't know what I've done wrong. What did I do? Be oppressed so much that I killed myself. That's a bit weird, isn't it? There's all sorts of... So that's just a little thing about that. But I just wanted to say and go through quick other things on this website. I'm a rejected whistleblower at the Commonwealth Ombudsman, so I'm going to kill all them. I'm going to kill everyone at the Australian Human Rights Centre, including Liz Lindbergh, who free-kicked $1 million case to the opposition. I'm going to kill everyone at IBAC, who covered up the police's injustice, and I'm going to kill Judy, the Ombudsman, as well. I'm going to kill everyone at ASIC, who Australian Financial Complaints Society, especially Tim Goss. He's a cunt. I'm going to slowly kill him, and Peter Fisher. Peter Fisher? Can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to kill the bosses at AFSA because they watched me as I burned, and this was conscious, malicious, and systemic. And I know this because I'm also a failed whistleblower at APRA, ASIC, and all of these things are under the Attorney General. Hello, Michaela Cash. I'm going to kill you too because I actually pointed out the conspiracy to pervert the course of justice and inequity between the law, and that the Human Rights Charter wasn't being followed, and also that I was cooked and still am cooked, and I'm going to lose $1.5 million something from a TPD case, from my work cover case, which is still going at the AAT, and I'm just totally fucking confused about it. Like, this systemic gaslighting and oppression has actually driven me a bit bananas. And the detriment caused by all this is absolutely fucking hideous. So I lost about $2 million at AFCA, Australian Human Rights Commission, $1 million, my income from HCF, 75 grand, my former partner, well, he owed me $500,000. I've gone bankrupt. I needn't have. I'm sick and coming out on the losing end. I can't sue the hospital. They know I can't do anything. Comcare rejected my work cover appeal. That's conspiracy. I've been denied a medical malpractice case. I caught the doctor out without even being allowed to practice. That's fucked. I've been systemically oppressed by the whole world. Well, that's fucked. I've got a corrupt vocat case. There's 20 grand. Corrupt vocat case is 200 grand. I can't go to police. Every policeman I'm going to kill. I can't get a lawyer anywhere. All the lawyers that listen to this libel and slander and the bullshit that I'm some kind of extortionist is absolutely going to be killed. Character assassinated. Like, where do you start? My reputation's in ruins. My website was destroyed, and that was evidence before a court. That's a crime in itself. They knew there was evidence before a court, and they were absolutely acting with audacious impunity before the law. My IP was destroyed, intellectual property. And here's a big one. Why hasn't anyone ever acknowledged that losing the entirety of fucking blood in a suicide attempt and being found by accident doesn't render you a little bit forgetful? So I've suffered an acquired brain injury from systemic oppression, which all these agencies seem to aid and abet my death. And then it happened. I didn't want to. I love life. And you know what? That note says, I forgive everyone. That was hard to do. And the acquired brain injury. Like, what the fuck? I can't even feel my feet. Get fucked, and I'm going to kill all the doctors that have covered that up. And all my family and friends who have never acknowledged that that injury has done me damage. And the loss of family and friends has been brutal towards me. And being framed has been brutal towards me, and I'm going to kill all of them. And my acquired brain injury, I'll never be the same. I can't get that back. And my TPD work cover settlement, that's got to be on there. $1.5 million. That's at AAT now. And I'm going to kill everyone at the AAT. And overseeing the AAT is the Attorney General. And I'm going to kill her because she knows. And I actually asked her not to put me in touch with a helpline. I need access to justice, and I need her to intervene. And so I'm going to kill her. And in addition, if the government has failed to intervene, they've successfully, catastrophically scapegoated me. I'm a good guy. I'm not a bad person. I'm not an extortionist. I'm actually a really simple fucking person. I like my dog. I like the breeze. I've fought for my rights for too long. And I said to people, if this government or someone doesn't stick up for me, I'm going to have to take it to the Supreme Court, even if I don't survive to witness it. Now, I'm hurting in unimaginable amounts. I've been persecuted so much and gaslighted and set up to fail that it's literally killed me already. This has been through a systemic government oppression. It's not enough that they maimed my business. I'm telling this story to exonerate myself. I'm a truth speaker and seeker. I've got an acquired brain injury. I've been scapegoated. My reputation is ruined. My website and business intentionally destroyed. I was scammed out of my job. I was forced to publish evidence for my sanity. I'm rationally paranoid. ASIO have covered up Steve Isonides, and everyone knows he owes me money. Why isn't anyone standing up for me? In 16 months, I've lived on literally not enough to survive. And what help have I got? I got a $50 Coles voucher from the health department. I've been robbed of prosperity. I'm electronically monitored. I have evidence my websites are hacked. I have evidence that my emails, website and phone are hacked. I have zero justice from a very corrupt magistrate at Geelong Court. 2 vacate cases undermined. My sexual abuse case, which was absolutely fucking legitimately real in historical context, where I was a victim and fucked my life, was thrown out of court with zero outcome. From yourlawyer.com.au, all these people I'm going to kill. I've been a sexual slave and financial coercion. Hi, Steve. I'm going to kill you too. I've been financially controlled via coercion by an ASIO employee. Hi, Steve again. I've been threatened with a hitman. My car stolen. Thanks, Steve. I was victimised. I've overdosed from my dear friend's suicide, Nathan Turnley. Hello, Nathan in spirit. I'm working for all the brothers and sisters that I've lost, and I was literally killed by a systemic, oppressive government conspiracy, which is now manslaughter. And then, not only that, but they covered it up, and everyone knows. I've suffered malpractice, suffered negligence, denied my human rights by everyone, every PSA, and including the Australian Human Rights Centre. I've been conspired against systemically across the government, denied a pension from Centrelink and being put on JobSeeker, despite I was already unwell. I've suffered a fatal injury within the hospital. That's not really cool. The grief of surviving and then being actively rejected and further conspired against does my head in. I've been made to feel worthless, less than death. That's what I said to a person at the very start, Constable, can't remember, from Footscray Police. I go, you've made me feel less than death by doing this. I have death threats outside my window that I'll be killed. I get taken advantage of financially. I'm maimed. I'm set up, and I predict I will be incarcerated in jail for something I haven't done, or in an asylum as a crazy person, as a way to shut me up. I predict that will happen. I'm free right now. If I've done something wrong, why don't you fucking tell me? Why do you fucking lead it out like all this way? Like, I've killed myself from systemic oppression. That was torture. That's not really cool. The torture, 16 months later, is still going. I hit out at people for not loaning me money or stuff. I've been malnourished. I've not had enough food. I've been denied medication and healthcare. I don't have enough medicine. This whole thing has been covered up and made me feel worthless. A movement to maim me has really shattered me. I've lost all my friends, my family's trust, even though, they're inherent homophobes anyway. And I think my sister summed it up best when she said, you're a druggo and schizo, get the fuck out of our lives. And they rejected me and lied in my face. They're prejudiced against anyone who it sees life differently to them. I was illegally incarcerated. I have that evidence. I was threatened with jail in hospital from a 4SC nurse for publishing and sticking up for myself on Facebook in my defence. I've been framed as an extortionist, a rapist, denigrated a faggot and poofter, and a pedo. I'm being framed because I literally have evidence of even local people on Grindr saying stuff to me and tagging me in pedophile posts, and my computer is hacked, my phone is hacked. I have legitimate fear I will either kill myself, which I'm not going to, I don't think, or be murdered. I'm a vagrant with zero voice apart from this website and my sentience. You can't keep my soul. And I've been blacklisted from even contacting places of justice, care, or litigation. Everything. I'm rejected of valid insurance, which they've banned me from contacting them. They owe me 75 grand. I'm owed so much money. I'm being followed. My digital identity is ruined. My business ruined. My emails were hacked. The passwords changed. That was evidence before a court. I've been financially taken advantage of. There's conflicts of interest clearly with Paul Fowler at Comcare. I've been bonds by respected by the mechanism for making an income loss. My chances of even working again are destroyed. My house was broken into by a violent attacker. I know, right? And I had, and the fucking riot police was in my house. I was hospitalised for a violent affray. I had the shit kicked out of me and then blamed on me. I was denied my freedom of information from the Office of the Information Commissioner. Jesus. I was denied valid insurance, which has lost me millions of dollars, which was a cover-up. I've become aware my brain's not as effective as before the hospital manslaughter, especially with memory, and I've sustained permanent injuries to my blood vessels, and I can't feel my feet. I literally can't feel my feet. No one has investigated that. What the fuck? Despite all this, the Victims of Crime Commissioner won't help me. Comcare and the AAT, they're corrupt. Michaelia Cash, going to kill her too. The Ombudsman, going to kill them. I'm banned from police, going to kill all the police. The Attorney General, it's not Michaelia Cash now, my former partner. Adam Bant, Greg Hunt, Dan Andrews. Thanks, Dan, for sending me to the loony bin when I actually asked you for justice. Mark Dreyfus, Katie Hall, Grant here. Here's a big one. My product public interest disclosure was rejected. AGIS, who oversee ASIO, they protected Steve. And Treasury. You can't make this up. The Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet actually think that I don't exist. That's pretty funny, considering I've had that stuff with everyone. And listen to this list. I'm going to kill all these people. The NDIS&A for stopping my payments. I begged them for food, and they rejected me. The Fair Work Commission, they fucked me off. The NDIA Minister, Reynolds, she's a cunt. Fair Work Commission, they didn't help. AFCA, HF, Sheena Jack, she's been caught out tampering with evidence and editing in documents. APRA, and then ASIC, they covered up AFCA. The Victorian Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission, who gave me my Human Rights Award, they won't even listen to me. APRA, cunts, NHPC, cunts. Victorian Inspectorate, IBAC, Federal Ombudsman, Geelong Magistrate Court, I hate that magistrate. Office of Public Prosecutions, Centrelink, thanks for putting me on the dole when I was pretty fucked. Human Services, business.gov.au, Small Businesses, Family Ombudsman, Telecommunications, Industry Ombudsman, Vic Ombudsman, National Ombudsman, AFCA, HCC, Mental Health Complaints Commissioner. Thank you, Alex Tinter and Commissioner Jennings, for covering up the entire fucking hospital hoo-ha. HCF, still owe me 75 grand. WorkSafe, Comcare, Disability Advocate at dss.gov.au. I'm an employee there. Advice line at disability.org.au, NDIS and the AG and IGT.gov.au. Well, I can't make this up. Surely he must be mad. The manslaughter in hospital. Thanks for apologising for giving me a broken toilet brush back. It's really cool. And then I've got a list on how to kill people and a whole list of recordings on calling the police. They won't help me. Am I frank? Is anyone waiting for me to do something? Is anyone waiting for me to admit something? I don't know, because I hear a lot of shit out the front of my house, and I'd just like to say the one last thing. Hung Ho, I know his name's Hung Ho, right? He's using a law for VCAT that is going to move me on as a vagrant, an infamous fucking vagrant, who's worth multi-millions of dollars in detriment that the finance minister has rejected, and the police, and I'm banned from the family circuit court servers, and I can't email Paul Fowler anymore, and I don't even exist anywhere despite all of this, and I'm still pretty chipper despite all this abuse, being killed, living, having it covered up, and living in abject poverty. And now they're using a law backed up by the police to move me on, because that's legitimate and fair. And I love Australia because it's a place of equality, equity, human rights, and I love that that always happens. And I love that conspiracies to pervert the course of justice don't exist. And I love the fact that now that I've made a threat to kill on a electronic messenger thing, that you might have to actually investigate the fucking crimes that have happened, and at least relieve me of the misfortune. Let's just call it misfortune. It was just an accident on how the police are going to move me on with one law, but all the other laws systemically that victimise one person have been fucking destroyed. And anyway, that's my little rant today. I'm going to kill, and I'm going to kill lots of people. I'm going to kill them all. Hello, police. It's Dr. Rich. And Crystal. Crystal! Can you say, I love you? She's going to say that. We're living in a squat. This is a shit situation. I can't say this enough. I've been going batshit crazy trying to find a way out. I don't know what to do. What do you reckon, everyone? Should I just accept being oppressed? Or are you going to help me? Are you going to help me get out of this situation? Because you know what I'm going to do with this hugely fucked situation? Is when I get the money and prosperity that is owed to me, or get back to work, I'm going to absolutely live as simple as batshit life, like I always have done, and I'm going to stick up for marginalised people, like I always have done, like trans kids, parents of trans kids, like the Indigenous, like the environment, like people with mental illness, like even people in jails who deserve a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. And I'm going to oppose tyranny and injustice. And I'm going to oppose man-made laws which victimise, vilify and scapegoat people. And I'm going to stick up for people who are trapped in insufferable situations. And I'm going to act with love in order to prevent suffering and spread joy, mirth, hope. And I want to serve the community again with my fucked brain and my good intentions, which I always have. And thank you. That's been my little speech. Oh, I don't know. Have I done something wrong? Can anyone help me? I need a lawyer. Has anyone got a lawyer? Has anyone got a police? My family gave me some Weet-Bix. Thanks, Mum, for the Weet-Bix, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. At least life's not boring, you know? That's what I can say. Isn't it, Crystal? She's a bit pissed off. What can you do? She's a dog.